Okay, here we go. So, I wanted to make sure that two things that everybody was aware of. One is that today is the first, well, it's the last one day of our last 9 cycle for September. And because the 9 energy is so strong in September, this is a super powerful 9 cycle. So we want to be able to take advantage of it if we can. And so, what you will want to do today, at some point today, I don't know where some of you are. Some of you might be somewhere where it's already tomorrow, but that's okay. You can still get caught up. Hi, Anara. Thank you for being here. Um, oh, yes, it did indeed. So the last 9 cycle just ended yesterday with the big, huge 999 portal. We do have one more 999 portal that'll be at the end of this 9 cycle. So for today, this is our one day. And so we want to make sure that we are setting intentions. Um, but what's interesting is that this 9 cycle is so closely tied to um, the 9 energy of September and of this year that these intentions really should be about ending or shifting. So look back, and you can look back at not just like this month, but you could look back at this year. Oh, look, here come the loud trucks and stuff. So you'll get to hear all that because that always happens. Look back at this month, this year, even years before, because this is so powerful. You can set intentions to end anything that you want to be fully ended, um, or shifted. Oh no! Can you not hear me? Oh, okay, you can't hear the trucks. Okay, yeah. Okay, good. Because it was super loud for me. But I'm sure there'll be more because that always happens every time. Um, and so think about what you would want to end, but in particular, anything that you want to shift, where you want to take energy from one thing and put it somewhere else. So, like, one for me is like, I just really want to take energy from overthinking. I am a Capricorn sun. Your sun sign is actually how your mind works. And so my Capricorn sun, I know there's some of you in here that are also Capricorn suns. I can get to overthinking. I can overthink things, and I use up a lot of energy doing that. So one of the things I want to shift, one of the intentions I want to set, is to shift this overthinking. And so we want to set these intentions today, because that's going to be a super big thing. But then what we can also do is those same intentions or different intentions. We have a new moon on Sunday. So on the 21st. So we can also set these intentions for this new moon. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Tony. Thank you. Appreciate it. Birthday next week, a Libra. Okay, okay. Yeah, you have different kinds of mind intentions you might need to do. So thinking about what energy you'd want to shift. And so this intention really can just be that simple. Because it can be, this is a time where we can shift a lot of energy very easily. Hi, Judy. Hi, LTFM. Thank you so much for being here. I think I saw Doc too. Doc, are you here? Oh, yeah, you are. Hi, Doc. Thanks for being here. So, this is one thing. Um, Today is the perfect day to set intentions of things that you want to shift energy to. And it's going to be super powerful because after we get through, after we survive all this 9 energy of September, then we go into October, which is not only a 1 energy this year, but it is a full 10. And so we have this God energy that's going to be backing all of our intentions. And October will have some 9 cycles for us to really build up the energy to be able to manifest. So this is one thing. The 9 cycles, we have 9 cycles in every single month. And you can use the 9 cycles to be able to build up the energy so that you have enough energy to really manifest what you want to manifest. And we'll talk actually more about October next week. I'm working on getting the October videos complete, hopefully early next week. But then in a week, this time next week on Friday, we'll talk about October. So think about those intentions. We'll see how I'm feeling and what's happening. You know, sometimes I'll be spacing out and forgetting that I'm going to do an extra live, but I'd like to do an extra live on Sunday to be able to set intentions together. But we'll see if that happens. Okay, I have one more thing that I want to make sure to tell everybody, and then we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So get all of your numbers, all of your phrases, all of your vibrations, whatever. Get it all ready, and you can put it in the chat, and we'll do that right after this. Oh, I'm so glad it's Friday. This was like a crazy week, and it was a crazy work week. But luckily, the work week wasn't like both crazy with meetings and with the work. It was just one. It was just crazy with meetings. It was just like a lot of meetings, but not a lot of work. So, can't complain too much. So the other thing I wanted to make sure that I brought to everybody's attention, and if this is of interest to you, then we can certainly talk about it more. Oh, hi, Pat. Thanks for being here. Is this transfer of energy, because we're seeing this a lot more. So we have a lot happening in our sky right now, like literally above our heads, where we have all kinds of things happening as far as our astrology is concerned, and change our astrology. And it changes the vibrations that is coming down to Earth. So everything is made up of vibrations. And so everything is now like coming into this space. So everything is energy, everything is vibration, everything uses vibration to basically communicate back and forth and talk to each other. So all of these objects and all of our planets in our astrology, they're all talking to each other. They're all putting out all this energy based on the aspects that they're in. They're telling different stories. And they're sending all of that energy out to the Earth, because it's also talking to the Earth. So then when this energy comes to the Earth plane, Earth has to absorb this information, absorb these vibrations, has to integrate it. So everything, every energetic body always has to integrate any vibrations. It has to process those um, vibrations, and then it has to respond or release vibrations. And so, how the earth is doing this is it uses a lot of earthquakes. We've seen a couple of above 7 earthquakes that have happened the last couple days. And it's like volcanic eruptions, which we have seen the last couple days. And then it's also weather. And so these things that we see and experience Earth doing, because we are on Earth, we're part of Earth, can't help it, we're just here. We experience these things also. So when we have these things that are happening, and it's the earth, it really is about the earth taking in this energy, this vibrations that are coming from the astrology above, and how it is integrating it, processing that energy, and then responding and answering back. Hey, Tiff Tiff, welcome. Yes, weather has been weird everywhere. We've had all kinds of earthquakes, we've had volcanic eruptions, and I really do think it's like with these strange things that are happening. Because we have regular astrology that will kind of cause some of these things. But these objects that usually are not dominant in our solar system are like changing the messaging. It's like bouncing off differently, and they're adding their vibrations to it. So it's coming across a little weird. Um, so yeah, we've seen all of this weird kind of weather. The other thing that I've seen in the earth plane that changes with these vibrations, um, but I don't know exactly where it fits in, is time. Because I don't know if you notice, but there's some days that feel longer or shorter. Hi, Cousin B. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I appreciate that all of you are here. I thought I was going to be talking to myself because I couldn't contact you all. And look, you found me anyway. And I'm so glad you're here. It's great. So, something, I do think these vibrations impact time, but it probably in a different way. And it may be more for us, because then that's what this next part is. So then these vibrations are processed like through earth, and then we get them also. And what's kind of crazy is we do a lot of times um get stuck in the middle. So let me move over here for a second, where we have vibrations coming from the sky above, from the heavens. So we have vibrations coming here, but then as the earth is receiving those vibrations and is processing them and responding back, we're getting vibrations from the earth as well. Like, we're impacted by the earthquakes and the weather and the weird things that are happening in the earth. Thank you, Josh. I I just think that's so cool. I was prepared like to just sit here and talk to myself. I'm glad I don't have to though. I love being around you all. So there we are here in the middle. Lucky us. So when there's a lot of vibrations going on like there are right now, we're getting it from both sides. I don't know about that, Tiff Tiff. That's up for debate, but we could talk about it. And so we also are having to integrate um integrate these vibrations, process these vibrations, and then have some kind of response. And we'll go back over here. I just wanted you to be aware that even though over here I'm writing it at the bottom, we are getting impacted by both sets of vibrations. Um, you all crack me up. Yeah, drop Otis's numbers. We could look at it. So let's see. So then here we are. And we actually are part of a larger set of consciousness. We are just like the higher part of consciousness. Like we have more consciousness. Sometimes we don't have sense, but we have consciousness. That goes for myself too. Hi, Rusty Woodpecker. Welcome. Thanks for being here. So, we're like these higher consciousness beings, which just means that we take in more of these vibrations. It's gonna hit us different than like the trees and the animals and the plants, because any living thing has some level of consciousness. That's what makes them living. Yeah, yes, Susie, this energy has been doing a number on me as well. Um, but a lot of times the what we feel, actually let me do this first. So we also have to integrate, we have to process, and then we have to respond and release. Because energy that's not moving, so vibrations that are not moving, is really, really bad. Really bad. If vibrations are not moving, that creates tension. It creates disease, or injuries in the body. So not good. Hi, Justin. Thanks for being here. Um, but the thing we have to be most aware of is how we integrate and process and respond. So, a lot of times we integrate and process through sleep, which I have been doing a lot of, like randomly. Like just randomly falling asleep. What the hell is that about? um, but we usually process this through sleep is one way to integrate and process it. But also through like our thoughts is how we integrate and we process this energy, and also through our emotions. So, when you have those moments, like I know we all do because we are human, and I know I certainly do. Oh, hi, Tasha. Thanks for being here. When we have those moments where your sleep is crazy, like you're randomly falling asleep, like I was like, what, did I just turn like 85 yesterday? because because I just randomly fallen asleep anywhere and for a long ass time. Not like my usual like 20 minute nap here or there, but like knocked out for hours and still will go to bed. Like, what is that about? So, when you have weirdness in your sleep patterns, this also could be a disruption of sleep. Usually, when you are integrating, um, it could be more sleep. It's like when you're taking in the vibrations, it your body needs more sleep. But when you're processing, it could be an interruption of sleep because all of the energy you're processing is turning into thoughts. But also, if you all of a sudden have weird thoughts where it doesn't make sense what is happening, or like all of a sudden you're like, I'm thinking about this event that happened like 10 years ago and it should not be bothering me this much, but it's really bothering me. That's a combination of your thoughts and emotions. Um, we can have vibrations that are coming in and they're like awakening those thoughts and emotions. And that usually is a sign of integrating or processing some kind of energy, some kind of vibration. And we've had a lot of that this month. Like, we just had so much energy bombarding us. And I do think with all of these things happening in our sky, that it's going to keep happening. Hopefully, not as bad. Hopefully, we'll get some ease out of September. It really is feeling like it as I'm looking at October. But it's still going to be a lot more than we usually get. But then we have to be aware that the way that we respond and release. So up here, where the earth is responding and releasing, like through earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and its crazy ass weather, we're responding and releasing through any kind of talking. So it's our words, any kind of word release, and actions or movement. So I also thought it was very interesting to see that the world championships for track and field um, have been this week, and there were finals for the women, I think, yesterday, and then for the men today. And there's been like so many records broken. It's like they are channeling this influx of energy on a whole nother level. It's kind of interesting to see when you know what's happening. So I just wanted to make sure that I came and brought this to you to make sure everybody was aware that this is what is happening right now. So when you're feeling like throwed off, when everything is feeling very different, um this is probably what's happening. You're probably feeling all of these vibrations. Okay, give me some numbers. Or you could ask questions about this. Of course, I've like got all kinds of pictures of comets and like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions because I was looking at them all week. Because I like that stuff. It's fun. But what numbers do you have? What topics you want to talk about? What have you been seeing? Let me know. Look at you all. Look at you all up in here. I love it. Okay. Okay, Rusty, let's do your numbers. Um so the 27th of like next week, possibly. Possibly. I'm kind of relieved that today wasn't crazier than last week on the 10th. So that gives me hope that when we get to next week, it's not going to be as bad. Because it really seems like um, from the beginning of the year, this energy has really been peaking, and then releasing. But it seems like it was kind of like a balloon pop. Like if you are filling up the water balloon, and then it doesn't just get a hole and like leak a little bit. It like pops. It like gets a big hole, because I think that's what we had last week. Is we had a big pop, a big release of energy, and now it's still rolling through our space, but it's not as like heavily impactful as like when the bubble burst. Either that, or it's still a tremendous amount of flow, but we are um, integrating it well. Which, if that's the case, if we're figuring out how to integrate it, that means when we get to next month, where it's a 10, we'll feel a whole lot of relief, because it's going to feel a lot better. Okay, so let's get to these numbers. Make sure I didn't lose them. Did I lose them? Let me find. Oh, there we go. Did I find it? Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. So we've got 7, 12, and 1972. All right, so what we do first is we add up the year, and I always say this. So the thing that I do differently than standard numerology is I like to keep the two digits together, because what I've found is that when we have a two-digit number, we are able to see the path that we need to take to be able to get to our single-digit life path number. And I'll explain it more as we get into this. So this is 19. And so then instead of reducing it, we right now at this point add in the 7 and the 12. Oh, good. I got some more numbers in the chat. I love this stuff. It makes me so happy. Okay. And so when we add these together, we get 38. So yes, you are that master number 11, which I have talked to several master number 11s this week, and you all have been getting hit really hard. Probably for the last couple months in particular, but it could have been happening for the last few years. And it's because there's so much happening with the state of polarization or dualism in the earth plane. But what this tells me is that your biggest lesson, your biggest purpose in this life is to work with this 11 and 2. It's to recognize both of these extremes, or like both of these possibilities that look like extremes, but the two really is figuring out how to be able to bring these together. Like, is it taking the good parts of some and leaving the bad parts of others and bringing it together? But it is really figuring out. And why you all are getting hit so much right now is because you can, like, we can see that there's great polarization in not just our social spaces, but in the earth spaces. Um, and we have polarization happening in the astrological spaces a lot right now too. And so you're really getting hit hard with those 11 energies. It's like the earth itself is trying to process this 11 and work with this 11 vibration. But hopefully, if you understand that that's what it is, you can really work for it, because your life path, like your purpose in this life, is to help bring those together. It's to help bring some understanding to that these extremes really aren't extremes. There are ways that we could bring them together and be very innovative in creating something new. Now, for you in particular, because your 11 is coming from this 38, you have two steps that you need to do in order to really recognize these extremes. So the first one is to recognize all of these cycles. These are cycles, these are systems, these are routines, and these are those cycles and routines and any of those like systems that are warring against each other, that seem like they're very different, that seem like they are fighting against each other. You're meant to take the time and examine them, understand the pros and the cons. And these could be anything from super small, like your daily routine. When you have like habits or daily routines that are kind of warring against each other, or they're making each other harder instead of working together, how do you make an adjustment to be able to work together with it? This also is the acknowledgement and the acceptance that energy does cycle back. So, like people usually call it karma. It's what people most recognize, but it's not karma as we define it. It's just recognizing that energy does cycle. It cycles around. And you need to be able to understand that and be able to work through that. Yes, though any of those master numbers are really difficult to work with. And the 11 is like it's like you're the tutor for the world. So you're meant to understand these bigger things that are happening and help others to understand them as well, but you have to understand them first. So 11 is really like the tutor, 22 is like the teacher or the mentor, and then 33 is like the master teacher. So even if you think about like in a school, how that goes is you have like the tutors and at that lower level, and then you have the teachers a little bit higher, and then you have the master teachers. But all of them have to really understand what's going on themselves, and they have to be open to be transparent. That's the hardest thing about these master numbers, is you have to be transparent and vulnerable, because you have to model for other people what they need to be doing. So again, why that 11 is getting hit so much right now. Oh, I love it when you guys are like all active in the chat. It makes me so happy. Except it makes me a little sad because then I can't be in there and like reading all of it. I like being in chat with you all. So the way that you step into, hey, Tiptoe Joe, don't be coming in here scaring me. Thanks for being here. So the way that you're going to step into that tutoring role, and being able to model for people is first making sure that you are learning and are aware of the cycles that are around you, um, in your own life, and then expand that out. So you start with your life. What are your daily routines, your habits, the cycles that keep repeating themselves in your life? How can you face them and understand them, and grow from them and heal from them? And then you're able to take that out to others, because in understanding these cycles, the next step is to grow. That's the three. So it's first understanding these cycles, and then your own growth, and then being able to step into that tutoring role so that you can help others to grow. And in that growth is where you're going to be able to see these two sides to the coin, these two sets of perspectives, and begin to help yourself and others piece them together to create something new, to be able to actually get to that too. I understand that, Rusty, but this is probably why you are so drawn to being transparent. And it really is that first step is figuring out how do you have this higher set of knowledge about these cycles? How do you see what you see? And this is really for all of us. How do you see what you see and stand in your perspective and stand in the authenticity of who you are without like damning yourself to a role of like martyr or victim? Yeah. Yeah. So, does this make sense? Was that helpful? So, the way that I try and read these numbers in our life path, because like getting our horoscope and our life path number, it's all fun. It's like, yeah, that's like me. But it doesn't, doing that way doesn't tell us what we need to do. It doesn't tell us like what are the steps that we need to take. It doesn't tell us how we can become the best, most authentic version of ourselves. It doesn't tell us how we are able to step into the world. And so, hopefully, then with these steps, it breaks it down a little bit more. Okay, while I'm waiting for your answer, Rusty, I'm going to look and see what other numbers I have in the chat. And if you did put a number in the chat that you want me to look at, go ahead and put it in again just to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, I see LTFM. Let me write this one down before I lose it again. So 10:01:89. Okay, cool. Oh, you got a birthday coming up too. Okay, so let's do, okay, good. Yay! I'm so happy that you all are putting in all kinds of stuff for me. So we got our list. Okay, great. Okay, great. Yeah, we're going to get through all of them because it's fun. Because it's fun. All right. I don't know what that is. Don't ask me. The first thing that I notice is that you have this very interesting mirror that's happening here, um, which means a couple of things. So because you have 1001, where it is like there is a mirror here, and the month is a mirror image of your day, you have a couple of things happening. So any vibrations that are similar, they like to be near each other. And so these are going to be kind of creating like this vortex and spinning. It creating this portal. And then from this portal is, oh look, that this is like a weird, why does that look like a weird face? Anyway, but from this comes this zero energy, and this zero energy is the only energy that we cannot control. We have no control over it. It's very strong, and it's like impossible to control because this is God energy. So when we feel this vibration of zero, it's how we experience a higher power. Regardless of what we call it, this is the vibration that represents that higher power, that higher vibration, this highest vibration that we are not able to at all control. And so this tells me right off the bat that you see the world in a very different way. It's almost like you see the world in mirror images. Like any situation or person, you're able to see the mirror image of it. You could see that other side of it. And so you're operating in a way that is like seeing mirror images. And that's interesting to see that in these numbers for you, LTFM, because I did watch several of your videos, which everybody should go check out, by the way, because it's incredible, especially the one on the word human. Was fascinating to be able to see how it was broken down, and it relates to the vibrations in those words very much so. But this makes sense. This makes sense why that vibes with you. So let's do the rest of these numbers. So if we get your year first. Oh, wow. It started raining really hard here, which is really loud. We'll see if you can hear it. But it's like raining really hard. That's crazy. Okay. So when we add this up, we get 27. And then we're going to add 10, and we're going to add 1. And so we get, I know. You see what's happening here? 38. Again. Okay, you hear it, but it sounds really loud to me. So I'm glad it doesn't sound super loud to you. And luckily I have to like close my windows and stuff so that it doesn't get too loud in here when I'm on live or recording. But man, it gets hot. So maybe the rain will cool it down. Okay, I'm sending you all the rain, Tiptoe Joe. You know that is a way that we can get higher vibrations from both the earth and from the astrology. So if you need to clear you need to clear energy, standing in a rain is a really good way of doing that. Anyway, so we have another 38, 11, 2. Look at the synchronicities. Oh, you thought it was raining there? Yeah, no, it's not. It's raining here. But look at the synchronicities. That the very first two birthdays, that are very different birthdays, still have the same life path. So what this means is that LTFM and Rusty, you could really help each other. Because when you have, it's like a love hate kind of thing. When somebody has interesting, oh hi Bubs, welcome. When somebody has the same vibration as you, or similar vibrations of you, it very much can be a really beautiful friendship where you're able to really help each other in moving along the path, because you have these same steps that you're trying to take. But if one or both of you are not trying to take these steps or are resistant to them, then it'll make it a very hard interaction. Even if it is that you both are not looking at it or not trying to do it, it'll be a hard interaction. But, so now this is interesting because you have, and I say you, I mean LTFM, because you have this 1001, you'll have the same breakdown as Rusty, but what is getting highlighted even more is this 11, because you have the 11 that's appearing in that portal with your month and your day, and you have the 11 here. So that means you potentially would have to step into like this mentor kind of tutor role at the same time that you're learning. So like with Rusty, where it really was about learning about these cycles and making sure that you understood the extremes of these cycles so that you could grow, you're you're almost like thrown in and having to learn as you go. Now, anybody can do that. You probably just are put in more situations like that, where you have to learn while you're going. You have to grow while everybody else is growing. You have to be the tutor, the mentor, at the same time that you're learning how to be a tutor and a mentor. So that's really the only difference here. Other than that, your steps are the same, but you'll see them from a different perspective. One, because you see the world different, but also because you're having to see it from inside. So where Rusty is going and is like, oh, I'm gonna go and I get to go to the 38 school. And I take my 8 class, and then I take my 3 class, and then I go to my 11 class, and now I'm ready to go. You, LTFM, it's more like, nope, we need you now. Throw you right in. So that's interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, good. I'm glad that's resonating with you. I'm glad that makes sense. But this is one of those things where I really strongly believe, and this is why I want to make sure that I'm bringing this information, is because with knowledge is our power. We should not have to be victims or feel like victims to these vibrations that are bombarding us. And so the only way to really do that is to begin to understand them. Because the only vibration that we do not have control over is the zero. All of these other vibrations we can control. We can use and we can manipulate and we can move them. And the way that we do that is with, let me go all the way back here, but with the words that we use, the actions that we take, the movement that we do, how making sure that these things are becoming intentional. So we're intentional about the words that we're using so that it's within the vibrations that resonate for us. We're taking action in the flow of the vibration of that moment. And we are making sure that the moves that we're making are aligned with the vibrations. Now we can make our lives easier and we can make the lives of everybody around us easier. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear you lost your dad. That's a hard one. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That, yeah. That's the one of the highest vibrations that we're having to reckon with all the time is life and death. And that life and that birth, but that's part of that cycle that you're supposed to be learning. Those are the things that happen, um and that makes sense that those things have happened in your life of losing your dad and having a son. It's because you're meant to learn about those cycles while experiencing them. So, not standing outside and learning them, but learning them while experiencing them and being able to be that tutor, that mentor, that model for others. So, then that's beautiful. Okay. Wow. So, we had like two 38s 11s. All right. If we get another 3811, I might have to just shut it down because I'm a freak out. I love the synchronicities, but when they sink in a little bit too much, it freaks me out. Even though I expect it. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. What do we have next? Um, I think I saw New Beginnings. Were you putting was it a child, one of your children, your son's info in there? Okay. I'm going to make a list right now and then I'll just come back to the list and cross it off. So, these are the dates I have. So, I have 7, 9, 13. I have 11, 19, 85. I have 8, 12, 83. And I saw one more. Oh, yeah. And 9, 26, 85. If you want me to add your birth date or a birth date of anybody to this list, let me know. And we're just going to go through it. Oh, this is fun. This is much better than sitting here talking to myself, which is that's what I was ready for. I was ready to talk to myself. Uh, well, and we have some crazy astrology, Judy, that is coming up um around that is triangles, and it actually is mirrors as well. So that's some of the vibrations we're actually feeling. So we'll feel a lot of that. And we'll see what comes out tomorrow. I'm excited for tomorrow because we had so on Saturdays, anybody that this is your first time being here, welcome. Thanks for being here. But on Fridays, I just kind of do open vibes. We just talk about what vibrations we saw during the week, or we do individuals vibrations. And then on Saturdays is when we do hip hop specifically, where we use hip hop as a vibrational example for us. Yes, I will, Josh. Yeah, as I'm going through these, I will make sure to let you know those differences between the double and the single digit life path number. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Here we go. So we're gonna start with 7, 9, 13. 7, 9, 13. Oh, so for this sweet baby, we'll add up the year. And this one I could do in my head. 6. And then we add the month and we add the day. And I could probably do this one in my head too, but it's so crazy. I've been doing this for years, but I still like, that's some trauma I gotta work on. I still get all messed up um, when I go to calculate because I had terrible math teachers, as I'm sure most of us did. I was a good math teacher. I taught math and science for years. But man, some of them math teachers make you be feeling like you don't know what the hell you doing. Maybe make you feel like shit. It's so bad. So very interesting. This adds up to 22. So not a 38, but another master number. So the 22. So here we can talk about this difference between the double and the single digit numbers. So 22 going to 4. And I can repeat it, and if you have questions, you can let me know. So the single digit number, so in this case 4, this is, so it's called the life path number. They're both called the life path number. But it always bothered me of like, you're just telling me what's at the end of the path. You're not telling me how to get on the path or where the path is or how do I get there. So this single digit it's the outcome of your life path. So it's the life path number that represents the path outcome that you're trying to go towards. This is why also it's associated with like your personality or the way that you do things. because it's strongly tied to your personal vibration. Um, yes, you should always do the full year for your life path number. Yes. Because each one of those numbers is a vibration that's woven together. It all needs to be in there and counted. So this single digit is your outcome of your life path. It's like what you're trying to get to. It's like what you the one kind of representation of your vibration. But it doesn't give you a whole lot of information. So I said earlier that it's similar to like looking at your horoscopes where we're only using the sun sign. So when you're only using the sun sign, we're forgetting about all these other planets and placements and aspects between them, that give us more information about not just who we are, but how we operate in the world and how we are able to contribute vibrationally to the world. And so that it doesn't help us. It's fun. I think that's why a lot of people look at astrology and they think it's just the horoscopes, and they're like, I mean, all right, it's fun, but it doesn't really give you a lot of information. It doesn't help you to know how to move or how to heal or how to actually get to that outcome. And so the 2 digit, this is the actual path. This is the path that is being taken to get to the outcome. And so we read these, so vibrations we always write. When we write them down, we write them left to right, just like we would with English words. But we read them. The steps are actually right to left, like some other languages, like Hebrew is right to left. Um, and so this is step 1, and this is step 2. Now, this is not linear. It's not linear. So when I say that, what I mean is like you could be on step 1 when it comes to like your interactions with other people, but be on step 2 when it comes to your own personal healing. So it's not linear, and you can flip-flop back and forth between them every time you are encountering a situation, every time you're encountering something um, that needs to have these steps taken. 3 is a very powerful number. You'll see at the end of my name, it's vibrant numerals 33. Yes, thank you for sharing that, LTFM. It's powerful. So this is what we're seeing, and this is what we want to look at. Instead of just looking at the outcome, because it's like, oh, this is your life path. This is what you're supposed to be doing. It really is looking at the steps, and we honestly have. So when you look into like a lot of the traditional numerology, they use your birthday and your name, and they use your name in a bunch of different ways to give you more vibrations. What I have found is that the 2 most powerful vibrations that can tell me the most about you, but also tell me how I can help you on your path, are your life path number, your 2-digit life path number, and your name. Those 2 vibrations actually are very powerful and tell me a lot. Just your, and it then the name is whatever name you use for yourself, and the majority of people around you use for you. So a lot of times that's a nickname for somebody, or your street name, not your government name. So those are the ones we want to look at. So hopefully that answered your question, Josh. Let me know if you have any more, and we'll break down this 22. So we already talked about how 11 really is about being the tutor or the mentor. 22 is the teacher. So 22 really is about being a teacher. And because it has both of these twos here, it means that the life path is really about going very deep into understanding dualism, the extremes, kind of like with 11, but without, where 11 was really about understanding the extremes and pulling the pros and the cons together. The 2 is really more about why we need to move out of being pulled back and forth. Why we need to move out of dualism. And it's going very deep into that because it's both step 1 and step 2. That's why it's the teacher, because a teacher goes more in depth into their knowledge, so then they can pass it on to others around them. Oh, good, Bubs. I'm glad that makes sense. And with the 22, like, this should make sense for a teacher, where this 22 is really about getting this higher knowledge, this understanding of the world. A lot of the times children that have this 22 vibration, and really any of those master numbers, they're the ones that were like, oh, you're an old soul. You're so old. Why are you talking so old? Is because they really do see the world more in depth. Like this 22 person is going to see more of the dynamics between vibrations, and how those vibrations are impacting here and there. Hi, Noah. Thanks for being here. And so then this teacher is really going in depth, understanding the depths of dualism. And everything in our earth plane operates in dualism. So this can be very in depth in really any topic area. So these 22s, they could be a teacher of anything, because dualism interacts and is a part of everything. So these are a lot of the people where they very much go very in depth and into their knowledge base, but they are very good at connecting it to bigger, like the bigger picture, but also translating that lots of information, that big information, to be able to teach it. And the 22 specifically, its whole purpose, a 22 person is meant to help test, break down foundations that are not working, but also build up new foundations. So foundations and stability. And again, this could be in any area of life. But they're meant, this is also the person that, and this is any 4. Because, we could get 4 from a whole different life path number. But anybody that has a single digit 4, they're the ones that are going to be questioning the foundations of what is being done. Why are we using that thinking to do that? Why are we using this behavior to do this? And so that four really is about testing, breaking down, and building up foundations. But when it's this master teacher, it's really around the dualism. So, dualism in these foundations are really the cracks. So, it's like the cracks in the foundations of dualism is what the 22 is really here to work with. Don't worry, Bubs. No, like everybody's just giving their birthday. And that's where I'm breaking down these numbers from. So it's your whole birthday, month, day, year is where you get your life path number from.
Hello. Can you hear me? Did I do it? I think I did. Maybe. Let me know if you can hear me now. Let me know if you can hear me. Yes, 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 yes. Woohoo! Okay. Hopefully this headset doesn't die. This tells you how many crazy stupid meetings I had this week. That I basically had to use and killed both of my headsets. Does everything sound okay though? Okay, great. Yes, I will be so happy when I don't know what that looks like, and I'm not even going to try and make it look like anything, but I would love to be able to just talk about vibrations all day and not have to go into these crazy meetings. But we'll get there. Good. Okay, good. All right. So we're back in business. All right. So again, first step is to add up the full year. This is the step that changes it from being able to have the 2-digit path with the 1-digit outcome. Oh, this is you, Tasha? Okay, good. Oh, great, Noah. We're gonna put you. Let me put you on this list so I don't forget. Put you on this list. Let me make sure. Okay, so February 26th, 95. Okay, great. So we will get you on that list. And we're just going to keep going until we get through everybody or this headset dies. Because then I don't know what we're going to do after that. I'm sorry, baby love. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Susie. I know. I know. You probably thought I fell asleep because I've been doing that all week. I'm so sorry. Oh, I was confused myself. But I'm very proud of myself. That didn't take me very long to fix that. I'm very proud of myself because, yeah. A month ago, I'd have just been like, all right, bye. So that's pretty good. So, right here, this is the step. You want to make sure that you keep this year calculation as a 2-digit number. So then you can get both the path and the outcome. So you get those steps and the outcome. And there are people that just have a single digit life path number. When we encounter that, we'll talk about that more. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take a bow. So once we have this 2-digit for the year, then we can add the month and we add the day. Oh yeah, the naps this week have been intense. Like that energy has been so intense. I've needed all kinds of naps. So when we add this together, we get, look at me. I'm going to get my confidence up. I'm going to get those teachers out of my head eventually. It's not a priority right now. I got other things I got to fix first. 53. And so then this goes to an 8. So this is, I believe, for you, Tasha. You're going to have to keep reminding me. I'm going to get it, though. Uh, yeah, the naps this week, y'all, have been crazy. So the final outcome is 8, which means that your full outcome, like your life steps, what you're contributing to the vibrational world and to the world as a whole, is helping all of us to stabilize our cycles. Um, and these cycles are like routines, it could be habits, it could be systems. A lot of times, eights, um, even if they don't like work in an analytical field, they think that way. They think in these kinds of cycles. They think in like cause and effect. So, but that's really what you're contributing, is understanding what this cause and effect are, and um, and being able to understand these routines and these habits and these cycles. Did you hear that? That was a crazy truck sound. I think I don't know what that was. Like sounded like two trucks fighting or something. But this eight really is about um like understanding that this energy is coming back around. These are probably so Tasha, you whether you say it out loud or not, you understand and believe in like karma, because you can see it. You see it naturally because that's the path that you're taking. That's the outcome you're trying to get to. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for being here. And so that's really what you're bringing to this vibrational world. And with everybody, really our goal is to raise our vibration. So it's to do our healing and our learning so we can raise our vibration. So then we're contributing our vibration to the whole tapestry of all the vibrations that are together, that make up the whole world. So everybody has this contribution to make, to this vibrational part of the world. It's creating the reality and the manifestations, in everything that we see. So that's the outcome, but the way that you're going to get there, because again, there's lots of ways, there's lots of two-digit numbers we could get that would add up to eight. And that's the part that I'm trying to help everybody understand, is that it's really important to understand your steps, because somebody else could also be a life path single digit number of eight, but have very different steps. And this is also like when you could like I'm a Capricorn sun, and like yeah, there's some things that other Capricorn suns have also, um but we're not all exactly the same, and it's because all of our astrology is different. Even your life path number, like the steps to get to it, is different, and in your name is different. So all of these things are coming together to make you vibrationally who you are. And your goal in life is to go through these steps in learning and healing and raising your vibration so that you're contributing it to the whole for everybody, to help create a bigger reality for us all. Whoa, that got deep. But your steps, your first step really is about growth. And so, with your analytical, logical, cause and effect thinking, you probably are thinking a lot about how to grow. And it's not change, because that's the five, that's your second step. So when we think of growth, we have to separate it from what change actually is. And we have to remember that every single vibration is neutral, meaning it could go in any direction. So you have to be very careful that your growth is not going in a direction you do not want it to go in. So, your first step is growth. It's about growing into yourself. It's about growing into your place in your environment, in your relationships, in the world. That's the first step to help you begin to contribute even more to this vibrational whole, is to grow. I think that's pretty cool that you like that gets to be your focus, is about growing and understanding that process of growth, what you have to go through to be able to grow. Because as you grow, you are also changing. And that's the 5. That's that second step. So to get to your 8, it really is about growing in ways that are helping to change and mold who you are and your contributions to the world around you. So in small ways and in big ways. But you very much have like this cause effect mindset that is very focused on, like a growth mindset would be a good way of describing how you think and how you move. That's also how you would process energy really well. So when you get a lot of energy in, really thinking about how to use this to energy to grow and to change um, can really be very powerful for you. This is why some people, I don't know, there's this there's this one girl, and we were girls. This is when I was a teenager, and it we were reading. I don't even remember what that book was. We were reading some dumb book in school, and every time we were talking and having like a discussion about it, she just had all the answers. And she was like, yeah, this relates to my life, and this relates to this, and that relates to that. And it really got on my nerves because it was just so effortless. It was just so easy. It was easy for her to take in that information and process it. Um, that's what a talent is. And we all have them, and they're related to our vibrations. So her vibration was just different than mine. When I tapped into what my authentic vibrations were, then I found my talents. And then I was good. No more jealousy. I don't know why that story came out, but it seemed necessary to say. Okay, good. Yes. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad, Tasha. Yeah. So again, like having this understanding is what you should be using to help direct that energy. So anytime we're having energy come into our space, remembering that anything and everything is energy and vibration, because energy is vibration. So when we have people come into our lives, when we see things on YouTube or on the TV, when we read something in a book, when we get something happen in our weather, all of that is vibrational interactions. All of that is interactions with energy. And all of that we can use, and we get to choose how we use it and where it goes. So now you know that, okay, it's going to be really good for me to really focus on growth. So any situation I'm in, any kind of relationship that I'm in, um, focus on the growth. And what direction am I growing in? Like, how do I want to grow? Because sometimes it's important for the roots to grow in a plant so it has more stability. And other times it's important for the branches to grow. And other times it's important for the fruit to grow. but you get to choose where that energy goes. Cool. You all are awesome. Yeah, the last couple days have been kicking everybody's butt. So what I talked about earlier, Nikki, is about how to just understand that it's coming from above and below. So we're getting hit with what the earth is doing and we're getting hit with what is happening astrologically, but we get to choose how we integrate, process, and work with that energy. So we get to be intentional about our words and our actions and our movements. Yeah, but it's been nuts. All right, let's see. Who's next? 81283. Who's this? Who's this? 81283. I'm gonna sing a little ditty so I can remember it. 81283. Yes, I said ditty, but you know what I meant. Come on now, people. All right. So let's. Oh, okay, this is you, Judy. Okay, good. All right, let's check it out. So first we're going to add up these year. Josh, don't make me laugh. I'm trying to be, here in front of the class instead of in the chat with you. but you but you making me giggle, which is okay. I like that too. All right. So this when we add this up, we get 21 and we're going to leave that. And then plus 8 plus 12. So again, first thing, add up all of those digits um, of the year, and then add up, and then add the month and the day. So we get 41. So 41.5. Very interesting. Oh, good. I'm glad you got back in time, just in time. So, Judy, your outcome vibration is 5, which is change. So, you really are meant to bring these vibrations that are helping to shift and change things, but you have to be very careful with this. I think we had somebody else that had a bunch of fives um, recently, but it's really important for you to be very aware of what direction change is happening because it's a neutral vibration. Change can happen in any directions. And so you have to be very intentional about which way that change goes. Okay. Oh. Both you and your husband have a 41.5? Oh my gosh. It Oh. Wow. Okay. So then that makes sense why you would come together, because the 41 would make sense as to why you are vibing together. Um, I'm doing yours. Yeah, you are 4152. That's kind of creepy. But that happens all the time because, like I was saying earlier, those vibrations that are the same, they want to be together. And if you both are moving in the same direction, you could do really powerful things and you can vibrate very well together. But you both have to be very careful about where the change is happening, because you both have that change. That's your outcome. You have to make sure that you're changing in the same direction, or at least having an understanding that you need to change differently. A lot of times with these life path number, so maybe it was you that I was thinking about, Judy, that was a 5. Because I was like, I know I've seen this 41-5 before, so it must have been you. Um, but what fives have to be very careful of in and remember that people, the majority of people, have a very hard time with change. They have a very hard time with change. And so while change is very easy for you and your husband, like you could change pretty effortlessly. It's not hard for you to do because this is your change, but people have a hard time with change. And so um, bringing that change into the world and into the spaces around you, that's going to be the challenge. But you have this these steps to tell you how to do it, and to help you do it. So your first step, and this is for both you and your husband, are to draw in the new energy. It's to draw in the new energy and really examine it. So both of you are probably having a lot of ideas. You're probably always wanting to try new things or look at new things or test new things out. New things would be easy for you. Um, but you want to make sure that you recognize that that new energy is new, because that's part of change for people. That's part of what's hard for people, is that you're seeing this new energy before anybody else is. So you have to remember that it's not they just don't see it. They don't see it yet. And so um this new energy is coming in to the space. You're getting this new energy. And then you're applying this new energy where you need to be testing the foundations of things. And this all starts within you first. So you can't contribute it to others before first working on it within yourself. And even though you and your husband have the same life path number, you still want to make sure that it's very individualized and that it's very focused on you, because you're going to have different overall vibrations because you have different birth charts. You have different names, and you have different vibrations that are coming in and making you who you are. You're going to have different experiences that you're going to have to work through. So you need to make sure that even though it be very tempting to do everything together because the vibration is the same, you need to make sure to keep it very, very separate. That makes sense. But your creativity is probably within um, that realistic piece of being realistic. Because you could still pull in all of this new. You're just seeing it in a different way. And that's what I was just talking about. Like you're in different perspectives. So you're experiencing these vibrations from different perspectives. And that, yeah, that probably is very true, Judy, that you would, because you're experiencing these vibrations in different ways. And that's where a clash can happen, is if you all are trying to get the other to see this vibration from the same perspective or from your perspective. So in letting go and allowing that to just be different is going to be very helpful for you. So it's kind of like I always give an example of, like, if there's, say we have a street corner and we have a car accident here. Nothing major, just a little fender bender. Everybody's okay. Um, but we have all of these witnesses, but it really depends on their perspective. It depends on their point of view. Yeah, the 18th, yeah, was hard. Well, this whole week has been pretty hard. So make sure that the first thing is the acceptance that you're going to experience these vibrations separately, even though you have the same steps and the same outcome. And you can have times when it's working together. You can have times when it's working together, but when you have those moments where you have the clashing, it's probably because you are looking at the same set of vibrations from very different perspectives. And at that point, it really is just accepting that you're going to see it differently and that you have to, it's like you're walking the same path because you have the same steps, but on like two different sides of the road. And sometimes you're ahead of where he is, and sometimes he's ahead of where you are, and sometimes you're walking together. But if you can focus the energy on looking to see what's new and remembering that all of this vibration is very neutral. So something new could be like, ooh, what's that icky thing that just came into the space? What is that new thought? What is that new experience? What is that? Because this new it can be anything. It's anything new. And you're working with whatever that new energy is, and you're using it to really examine and look at the foundations and look at the stability of things. Because you cannot have true change without having a good foundation and stability. That's just going to be necessary for you both. So you're not the type of people that could, like, randomly build on sand and still be successful. Well, most of us can't, but you know what I mean. Like, it's really important for you to examine the stability and the foundations. And these are the stability and foundations of the way you're thinking, the way that you see yourself, the way that you see each other and others and the world around you. It's the foundations and the stability of your actions and behaviors. It's all of those things. Those all come together to form that stability. Does that make sense? Do you have any other questions? Because that's a really interesting that's a really interesting scenario where both you and your husband have the same life path number. While I'm waiting for your response, I will say, though, this is a good opportunity to say that if you are looking at a partner, really, we have relationships with everybody, whether it's somebody we encounter on the street for 2 seconds, all the way up to people we have in our life for a lifetime. But the way that you can really see how your vibrations are working together is you can add those 2-digit life path numbers together. So when we add 41 and 41, now we're getting 82. So that means that the work that you're meant to do together is really around getting rid of dualism or understanding dualism. And then shifting that understanding into these cycles. But when you can do that, you're getting to this 10, which is huge. It is your birth year. I saw that. So with anybody, so all of us can do this. If you know, you just need to know the person's birthday. You can get these two, and these tell you the steps of how to work together. What are the steps of you working together to get to the outcome and what the outcome should be. Oh, I saw that, Nikki. Yeah. No, like polarization and dualism is huge. It's been huge probably since probably like 2020. Well, because we live in a world where dualism is always around us, but it keeps getting heightened because we have too many people that are not understanding that we're not supposed to be picking sides. We're really supposed to be getting rid of that dualism. But anybody can do this. So if you know your 2-digit life path number and you know another person's 2-digit life path number, you can add them together. You can also do this with names. So if you don't know their birthday, you could just do your name plus their name, and it'll give you some of the same information about how to work together and what your vibrations are doing together. Oh, that was a good one. We're getting some interesting stuff today. Let's just hope that this headset lasts for all of it. And then I'm gonna have to go and like charge everything tonight. I'll make sure everything is charged so that we don't lose anything tomorrow when we're talking about hip hop and looking at energies and vibrations in hip hop, which always turns out really interesting. Okay, we are ready for the next one. So who's this one? 92685. 92685. 92685. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What color do I want to use? All right, here we go. 92685. Oh, good, Judy. You're very, very welcome. Oh, yeah, it's Sunil. Yay! Okay, so here we go. So we're adding up the year first and foremost. I, yep, man. I keep trying to be nosy and like read in the chat and be like part of the chat while I'm doing this. Good thing I got my handy dandy calculator or I'd be messing this up even more. So we got 23 plus our 9 plus our 26. And okay, Sunil, you got to be ready for next week. Got a birthday. Got a birthday. All right, so we add this up. We get 58. Good. I'm glad you're ready. So, we got another interesting one here. So kind of like with 38 where it went 38 then 11 and then the 2 where you have an additional step in there. This is the same here. So 58 goes to 13 and then goes to 4. And so the way that you would look at this is all of this. So both of these 2-digit numbers are your steps. So this is your step 1, this is your step 2, and then all of this together is your step 3. But this is like 3A and 3B. And then that gets you to your outcome. And this is a little bit different. This is why I didn't say this for the 3811, is because that 11 is just so distinct, and because it's that master number, you don't need to be aware of these two parts that are coming together in this third step. Oh, yes. Hopefully, we'll get to see you somewhere to be able to say happy birthday, but yes, this will be exciting. All right, so let's give ourselves a little bit of room here. Okay, so we've seen this 8 a lot, and you probably are noticing a pattern. We've seen this 8 come up quite a bit, whether it's somebody's outcome or it's part of the path to their outcome. And this is because this is another one of these heightened energies that is in this space. So, again, the first step really is recognizing routines and habits and that like return of energy um, and like cause and effect. Again, if you whether you say it out loud or not, you would probably be one that would use like, oh, that's karma, that's karma, oh, that's karma, that's karma, like pointing out this return of energy everywhere you go because you see it so clearly. Like, oh, yeah, that's karma. Oh, yeah, FAFO right there. You see it so clearly. But this is really your first step, is to really understand what this returning, this cycling of energy is, um, first in your own life and then just in the bigger world around you, being able to see it and understand it and be able to then use that knowledge of these cycles of these routines, of these habits, to really promote change. And again, this starts within you and then radiates outwards. Yeah, I could see that, Sunil. You probably always are like, oh, karma. You probably looking for karma all the time of like, oh, I'm not going to do that because I don't want karma. Oh, but also pointing it out, whether you say it out loud or not. Oh, thanks, Tiptoe Joe. We'll add your numbers. I need your month, your day, and the year, and then we'll add yours. But what you want to be doing, so like you can't get stuck on that first step. So you can't just see the karma. You can't just see the cycles, the routines, or the systems. You have to start understanding them, like digging in and understanding them so that you can use that information, use that energy to actually make changes to them. So it's like for yourself, like you might be like, oh, I'm not going to do that because it's going to be attached to karma. And I don't want that karma to hit me. And so you make a change, you make a different decision. But you need to be doing that even broader throughout your life first, and then being able to see it in the outside world around you. Also, with your birthday coming up so soon, our energy, so our personal year starts on our birthday. And so your personal energy will begin to change and shift. So like right now, you're not even in 2025 energy. Oh, I just got the notification for the Vegas Unlocked live. So if anybody needs to go support them, please do. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out though. Please and thank you. I was hoping to be done before that. Okay, I'm going to start talking a little bit faster. But so you're not even in 2025 energy yet. On your birthday is when you shift into that year's vibration. So you've been operating in 2024 energy for yourself, and then you'll shift into 2025 on your birthday. And that's for everybody. So you should have, like, really, our New Year's resolutions should be on our birthday, not at the beginning of the calendar year. But we could do them then too. Doesn't hurt to have multiple intentions and goals. So you're looking at this karma, you're looking at these routines, these cycles, these systems, and your next step is to really push towards change. So then this change can become the biggest change there could ever be. This is transformation. This is making growth, which is 3. You're making so much growth that it's changing. It's like changing you into a new person. It's completely changing. Um, it's completely changing what is happening around you. So if you're able to take those 2 steps, now you can get to this full transformation. Like you are one of the people that are meant to put this vibration of transformation out into the world, to have big, huge changes happening. These changes are so big and so important. And again, it starts in you. So even if this transformation is only you, it's making your vibration so big that it will automatically change and transform those around you and the world around you. Because this transformation goes to a 4. So it's changing and transforming the foundations of things. It's changing what stability is. So we saw the 22-4 earlier, where the 22-4 was really about stepping into that teacher role and getting rid of like the dualism, um, and putting it into the foundation. You really are understanding the karma and creating the change so the transformation can happen, so there can be a whole new foundation. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, Judy. Thank you for being here. Oh, what did I miss? Okay, I don't know what I missed, but what you need to recognize, Sunil, is what are those repeating cycles that are happening in your life and around you, and start taking control of them. Even when it's so saying that it's out of your control and letting it go is being in control of your vibrations. Night night, Tiff Tiff. Thank you for being here. Does this make sense, Sunil? Do you have any questions? This is like really powerful. So you just have to really make sure that you're taking this step by step. Don't try and go towards the transformation or try and change the foundation without first going through these steps. Okay, good. Good. Night night LTFM. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you can make tomorrow. Okay. I think you're next, Noah. Yes. So we got Sunil. Oh, okay, good. Stay as long as you like. I'm enjoying having you all part of this conversation. All of the different vibrations and different perspectives add so much depth to these conversations, even if it's just me feeling and picking up on your vibrations. It's so cool. I think this one's you, Noah, right? February? February 2695. I think that is Noah. Oh, wait, while I'm over here, who was I supposed to add? Tiptoe Joe, was it you that I needed to add? Can you put your birthday in there again for me? Or somebody that remembers it? Put it in there for me so I can add it to the list. Please and thank you. I'm looking. March 3rd, 1930. You like, you're not 95. You're not 90 years old. Exactly. Oh, you threw me all the way off. So 30 is your year. Is like when you added up the year. Okay, 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 okay. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I know you look good for your age, but damn, 95. That threw me off so bad. Okay, okay, got it. We're good. We're on the same page now. All right. Oh, that was hilarious. Right. Like a different kind of time traveler. Like, what is happening? Oh, whatever he's got, give me some of that. I want some of those. Oh man, exactly, Nikki. Okay, so Noah, we are here looking at yours. Oh man, that was so funny. So we've got two. Oh my gosh, did I forget? I did. I was still laughing so hard in my head. God, I'm sorry, Noah. Oh, I didn't. I knew what I was doing. I just saw the 26 again in my head and I thought it was from the last one, but it's not. I should have just trusted in myself. All right. So, first we're going to add up this year. Oh man, that was so funny. That's a good movement of energy also, is a good like authentic laugh. Also, crying is good movement of energy. You don't have to be sad or happy or nothing. Just letting yourself cry gets it's a good energy release. You ever cry for like no reason? Am I the only one? Sometimes that happens because you have too much energy surging through your body. That's why like you cry when you're mad, but you cry when you're sad, and you cry when you're happy. Or you just cry randomly, like I do sometimes. That's because you have a lot of built up energy. So when that happens, if you channel it to something, so like if you go and write, if you're a writer, or you go and create, then you can let that energy move. Yeah, menopause is actually very interesting, Nikki. That menopause is actually um, a time when our bodies are actually moving and generating a ton of energy. That's why when women are in that menopause state, man, we get so hot, girl. We get so hot, we be crying. It's because we're moving so much energy. So if we put that towards our creative projects, we could do a whole lot. You don't have to tell me, girl. I know. I'm over here trying to pretend like I'm not sweating. Oh, goodness. All right. So, Noah, your year adds up to 24. And then we're going to add the 2 and the 26 to it. Now, something that I didn't say on the last one, Sunil, that had the 26, but it feels much stronger here. with you, Noah, is that this 26 is actually the numerical vibration of the word God. And so that's vibrating very strongly for you. It's vibrating very strongly for you. Like what it looks like if everybody typically has like a 10-foot long connection to God, yours is 5. It's like that connection is woof, strong. And you have like a direct connection in there. That's so powerful. That's extremely powerful. That's something that you could definitely use. Um, because it's like you have like a shorter pathway to getting to that God energy. And then this adds up to 52. Now, here's another thing that 52 is the numerical vibration of the word heart. So not only do you have like this big connection to God, but you're very much able to process a whole lot through your heart space. Now that could be a blessing or a curse. You probably feel things a lot stronger than a lot of people because it's going into your heart space. Your heart space is impacted um, by those energies a lot more. So that's very interesting. Ah, that make okay. So then that makes sense. So that if you've had like this near death or death experience, that would give you a stronger connection. It's like a shorter space between you and God. But also, if it's the stopping of the heart, that's why these are resonating so strong. That makes sense. Whew, that makes sense because it's actually really strong. Um, like I'm feeling these two vibrations very strong um, in your reading. The connection to God, but then also that heart space. That there's something around the heart space. Um, you don't have problems with your heart, do you? Or did you? Because it feels like the heart is it's like it feels like a heavy heart, but not emotionally, if that makes sense. This is very powerful. My goodness, Noah. We didn't even know. Yeah, exactly, Josh. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Whew. You all are picking up on those vibes too, I could tell, just by your comments. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it was like, yeah, your heart fully stopped. Okay. Okay. But you're good now. It's because it could be also what a lot of times what I feel is I can feel past injuries. Um, because every injury, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, anything that would be considered damaging, does cause some kind of trauma. and it leaves energy behind. Even after we heal, so even after we heal physically or we heal those emotional wounds, we still have the residue of that vibration there. So like the so like the um the trauma's never fully gone. It's just like a weaker vibration. It just doesn't impact you as much. So that could be what I'm feeling as well. Yes, back to that number 5 again, because we have the 5 again here too. 41 and 5. Yeah, very interesting. Like I'm so I'm tapping into your energy, Noah, and your energy is just I'm it's very you have very interesting energy. Um so your first step is to understand this dualism where yes, you're right there, LTFM. Keep saying it. Keep putting it all in there because that, yeah, you're right on it. Um, it's to understand this dualism, but with this energy of God and heart being so powerful, it's you have faced death, and so you understand the biggest dualism, at least your energetic and your vibrational body understands the biggest dualism that you could ever have is life and death. And so being able to understand, how do we get rid of that? How do we begin to understand that death is new life and that we must die in some way to be able to step into a new life? Yes. So really tapping into this dualism and removing it, like learning this deeper lesson that there really isn't dualism. Wow. Then this is definitely your calling, Noah, because you're supposed to be using those experiences to understand that split between life and death, but then be able to shift and move it into change. And this is going to be the part that is harder, because this is such a deep connection with this dualism between life and death, that getting to a place where you're able to shift that energy could be hard. Change could be hard. You and also you would probably have a hard time with people that have this 5 in that first position, or like the 41 fives or any of the fives. They're gonna it's gonna be, because this is your hardest step, is getting to this change, because that the experiences you've had with life and death are so big that it doesn't seem like there's change there. But you have to be able to figure out, what is this lesson, what is this message that's meant to come through, and how do you first let that lesson and that message change you, so then you could bring that change to the world. Oh, Nikki, you'll really like LTFM's videos. I really liked them. We need some more though, but they're really good. Noah, is this making sense for you? Because once you get to this place where you're understanding this big picture ending of dualism, so not just dualism, but it's the ending of dualism, not allowing um, that separation, then the change can be fully made. And the change is going to initially be in very small ways, and then it'll be bigger. Good. I'm glad it makes sense. Because once you get through these steps, then your outcome is 7. And 7 is like this beautiful combination of these two energies that seem like they're very different. It's the perfect combination of action and flow, of masculine and feminine. So 7 is being able to take action, but in the flow of the vibration. So by ending this dualism and really grasping this message that is meant to come through you, and making the changes that need to happen so that message can come through you and can change you and change your life and change those around you, you're able to take action and flow. Like you'll know when you are taking the right action because it'll be effortless. But if it's not in flow, it is going to be hard. So if you ever are trying to do something and it feels like irky jerky, if it ever feels like irky jerky, like it's not able to happen as easily, um, it could be that you're out of the vibrational flow. And then you can tap into these other two steps in order to get back on track. So if you're trying to do something and it just feels like you're getting blocked every time you try, if it just feels like it's not flowing, um, then go back to those steps. Go back to the 2, go back to the 5, um, and make sure that those steps have been fully fulfilled. Does that make sense? This is very powerful because the 7 is a very powerful number. The 7 life path numbers are those where it's like when they're in flow. So when they're in that vibrational flow, everything they do is effortless. Everything they do is very easy. And that's where we want to get you. That's where you're meant to go. That's where you're meant to be, is in a very effortless state of being able to take action in vibrational flow. That's very cool. You have some very powerful vibrations, Noah. And if you I know you should be in a couple of different Discord channels, but feel free to contact me on Discord because I can give you some really good like things that you could do that could really help you tap into this energy because you have some very powerful vibrations. You're meant to do some very powerful things in this world. We just need you to be able to get into that flow. Hey, you know what? That's a good idea. doing shorts like this. I always feel weird though for like having it be at people's actual numbers. I thought about doing um like just the 2 digit and the 1 digit number. So like 1 week, I'll just look at all of the possible ones and break them down. That's a good idea though. Thank you, LTMF. LTFM. Okay. So are we ready now for our not 95-year-old Tiptoe Joe? I'm so glad that you were here, Noah, and that you gave your numbers because that's so important for you to be able to get that information. Because now you can make some real moves. Now you can really direct your energy and do some really cool things. It's exciting. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all of us. I get excited about all of these vibrations, not just the vibrations, but people learning them because they're so powerful to know and be able to use. Okay, Tiptoe Joe. Here we go. So we already added up the year. So we know that's 30. And then we add the month, which is 3. And then we add the day, which is also 3. And so then we get this 36. So the first thing, um, yeah, okay, thank you. That's actually very helpful. The first thing, of course, is that you have all of these threes. Threes, three threes. So, and I did see LTFM, I think it was at the beginning of the stream that you asked about that triple 333. So whenever we have like the same vibration that's with each other, it's like um, two things are happening. It's making the vibration louder. It's like having 3 speakers playing the same song instead of just one. So it's amplifying that vibration, but it's also speeding it up. It's building momentum. So like if like something is rolling down a hill, like you see in the cartoons, like the older cartoons, which I know about, and you know about Tiptoe Joe, especially if you're that old, where they have like the snowball rolling down the hill and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then its impact is bigger. That's what having that triple number is. It's like the snowball coming down and it's building momentum and it's building mass, and then it hits and it hits harder. That's what's happening here. And so just even having these, even just the 2 3s right next to each other is like 3 is growth. And so it's like you walk into a room and we all know this already, but you walk into a room or you walk into a space and your vibration is very amplified. And it's all about like growth. But again, like where I've said other times where people have that 3, you have to be very careful because this is not in one direction. Growth can happen in any direction. So one wrong move and you could be digging yourself a ditch instead of building yourself a mansion. So you just have to be very careful because growth is very easy for you. Um, it comes very easily, but you have to make sure that you're doing it in a way that is going to improve your life and not make it harder for yourself. I'm sure you know. I'm glad that you could give me confirmation I'm on the right track. But then you have this 36 that's taking us to a 9. So right now, you are one of the people that are getting hit a lot by this 9 energy. I'm so glad that you came to the spontaneous random live on Monday to talk about September 9 energy because it's hitting you harder than a lot of other people because your outcome is 9. So you're going to feel like you need to do a lot more. You need to end things. It's like you're going to feel like you're, like this month in particular, feel like you're rushing things to try and finish it. I got to finish it. I need to finish it. Like, and really it's this whole year because we're in a 9 year, but especially this month that it'll keep feeling like you need to finish something. This energy is really pushing you that way, but you need to stop. Don't do that because what could happen is that 3 could take over and you start growing in the wrong direction. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that because you don't want to have to go back and change something or fix something. Um, just because you rushed it. Oh, you did just say that. So you have to be very careful this year, but in particular this month. So when we get to the October, when we get to the 10 energy, it'll ease up a little bit, but it's really been this whole year. So you might want to, in this time when you're observing and not rushing, maybe use it to go back and look at previous months of this year and see where you may have rushed something before and just make a note of it. Like, okay, once 2026 hits, and really it's your birthday. Luckily, your birthday's near the beginning of the year, so you won't have to wait long because you'll be in the 2025 energy until your birthday in 2026. But go back, like use this observation time to observe the past of like, okay, let me just make a list of the things that I'll need to go back and adjust once this energy is done. And you can still take action, just don't rush it. Make sure you're moving slowly through it. So then, really, your steps that you should be taking to get to this 9. So instead of letting this 9 energy just like sway you and like push you forward to get to the end, what you should be doing is first examining comfort zones. So you're very good at creating comfort zones for yourself and for others, and making yourself feel comfortable. Like you probably feel pretty comfortable most places you go because you kind of carry this with you. And a lot of people probably feel very comfortable with you because you have this 6. But the lesson that is here, what you need to be doing is examining comfort zones, your own and those in the bigger world around you, of like, why am I comfortable with this? Should I be comfortable with this? Because there's some things that we should not be comfortable with. It's like, why does that come so easily? Why am I so comfortable with that? It's gross. That's what this first step really is. It really is about examining those comfort zones so that you can make sure the comfort zone you're creating for yourself and for others is in that higher vibration. And people probably don't know what to do with you because you'll see these comfort zones very easily and point them out to people. But the way you point them out, they don't know if you're serious or not because you make them feel so comfortable. You could be like, yeah, that's gross that you're saying that. And they'll just laugh with you, not realizing that you're like telling them on them, like, you are, yeah, you really shouldn't be doing that. So, but it's doing this examination of those comfort zones, and building comfort zones that really are higher vibration. Because once you have that higher vibrational comfort zone for yourself and others, that's where you and everybody else around you can grow. Because this is the 3 of growth. So you'll know if it's a good comfort zone because the growth will happen very effortlessly. So the growth, and especially because you have all of these 3s already. The growth part is not the hard part for you. It's this comfort zone part. You'll know when it's the right comfort zone, when you've built the right comfort zone, you've examined the right comfort zone, you've torn down the right comfort zone, because the growth will happen very effortlessly. It'll grow until the very end. And so your life path, like your vibration, is meant to draw attention to these comfort zones that we really should not be comfortable with, helping people grow out of that by being an example of it. So you growing out of those comfort zones that are no good and helping others to grow out of it. So you bring a full end to it because your outcome is a 9. You're bringing a full end to these comfort zones that we should not have. And hopefully you'll be able to come to the live we're going to do tomorrow, because we focus on hip hop on Saturdays. But I keep feeling like it may be tomorrow, it may be a different Saturday, but I keep feeling like we're going to talk a lot about the wounds of hip hop. And that's these comfort zones that need to end. It's really coming from these wounds. So you might be able to really connect with that discussion. It might help you to be able to look at the comfort zones in a different way. Does that make sense? Yeah, facts in your face. Great. I look forward to seeing you. Okay, so this phone is dying, the computer is dying, this headset is dying, so I guess that means it's time to go. But thank you everybody for being here. Please make sure to hit the like button on your way out and hit the notification bell so maybe YouTube will let you know when I'm live again. But we definitely will be live tomorrow. We're going to talk about hip hop. So think about what hip hop focused vibrations you'd like to talk about. You can bring it and we'll chat. But it keeps feeling like the wounds of hip hop are coming up again. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you all, and I really enjoy our discussions and our time together. But I hopefully will see you all tomorrow. I never give a time because I'm terrible at being consistent with time. So I'm just consistent with the day. So it'll definitely be tomorrow sometime. that we'll meet again. Thank you so much. Have a really good night, everybody. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow or next week or around. Have a good one. Bye.